Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous 2-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Sackheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk. Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on the immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Dude. Dude.
Radio.
Dude. Dude.
Radio.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.
And welcome to the Sackheads Radio Show. It is the... Really? What an asshole. Yeah, keep drinking, pal. Welcome to the Sackheads Radio Show for August 10th, 2016. Thank you so much for joining us. Off to my left is Sackhead Clint. The bloviating Zeppelin joins us off to the right. Welcome back. Thank you very much.
It's nice to have you back.
It is nice to be back.
Don't blow his ego up this early in the show.
It was terrible to see you when I walked in the door. It was
Seriously, the guy's been a cantankerous old bastard ever since he came in tonight.
the COB.
The COB, which is usually reserved for you.
Thank you. That's true.
You're welcome. It is.
Represent.
It is, yeah. But tonight, Sean is a little bit of a pumpkin. Like stems sticking out. It's all cute. Won't even drink whiskey. Like, okay, so here's how bad it is for our listeners.
I told you I'm detoxing.
First of all, we're live.
We are.
In case there's any freaking questions.
Like last week, yeah.
Second of all, Sean turned down some nice Macallan whiskey that I
have bookers
brought
up there, homie.
You do, but the fact is you won't even drink with me right now.
You're right. You're right.
Thank you. See, everybody knows what a prick you're being just from the comment.
And you're like a drunken,
So how are
you're
you,
like a drunken broad in the bar. You won't even drink with me right now. You're so mean to me. You're so horrible.
What's that nail doing
It's like
in your
being at home.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so nice to have you all here. It's nice to be back.
Is it really?
Missed you guys last week.
I missed you too.
Had a great trip camping. Like I said, I'm detoxing. It was a fun camping trip. And I didn't have a chance to ease back into sobriety.
Did you listen to the show?
I did.
Now, could you tell that it was live at the time you listened to it? Okay, perfect.
I knew it was live because I know we didn't pre-record anything, and you guys were all there. So, to me, I knew it was live.
Right.
To the average layperson, perhaps not.
Right.
But, fortunately, we squared all that away. The chat room's filling up. Go to shrmedia.com. Click live chat if you want to join the conversation. Rooster's in there. Mary.
What?
Big Mouth Patriot. Dave Agador is in there. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Rooster's...
Is Rooster back?
Or is he nationwide?
When's he calling in?
I don't know when Rooster's going to call in. I don't know if he's ready to jump that shark yet.
Rooster, I challenge you to call
Oh, no.
tonight.
But then that'll push the
Whenever the surge,
with the Bolivian Zeppelin here, and then if Rooster calls in the average age of the show. Remember we talked about that?
Oh, we did because of our demographics.
Right.
We're already pushing the envelope with BZ.
Right.
Although BZ, you can't really tell on air, right? Because I remember when people came up to him at Freedom Fest, they were like, "Oh wow,
Is that your dad?
right." Okay. Now we know what Santa Claus does in the off season. Every member of SHR.
It's Mr. Zeppelin.
The biggest problem I had is everyone kept calling him Sean.
You got the big nose guy and the fat guy, right? Is that what this is about right here?
Who's the young guy?
Yeah. Sacco's not here anymore, right?
That was me. I was the young guy.
Oh, jeez.
I was the young guy. Oh, yes. Ralph Chittum's in the chat room wants to know if he heard McAllen.
Yes.
He most certainly did hear McAllen. It is over. It's exactly at my 12 o'clock, now 11:30. It is being enjoyed by Sackhead Clint. It'll get interesting. I love McAllen. You know I love McAllen.
I know you do. That's why I brought this over tonight.
If I hear anything
special, the song "Reunited" was playing in my head on the way over here. Like I had some McAllen, like not a bottle of wine, right? Because
who the hell drinks wine?
Right. Only awesome, right. Awesome chicks, which sometimes you are. But I brought whiskey, knowing that you'd probably be more manly tonight. And, Reunited was in my head, and I walk in, and you're like, fuck, shit, cock. And I'm like, that's almost exactly what right here.
It is.
By the way, mark this show explicit.
Oh, yeah.
6 minutes.
Yeah. Let me adjust that. Let me just make sure I have that.
Yeah, make sure you have that.
No, it's checked.
Is it checked already?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, good.
We're good.
Perfect.
Oh, good times. A lot to talk about this week. First of all, BZ, thank you for sitting in last week.
It was a pleasure.
And the week before.
A riveting pleasure.
Babysitting. I don't know.
What's it like babysitting us? I'm just curious.
Actually, you're babysitting me.
Yeah, exactly. We just get you out of the home once a week.
Right, it sucks when we have to change your diaper, but it's like we love you, so it's all good.
Well, it's like, you guys keep telling me that I'm not crap, if you kick that walker out from underneath me. Come on, put up your dukes and fight.
No, we wouldn't do that to you because we know where you keep the shotgun.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually in the walker. He built it in.
Yeah, how did you know? Doggone it, steal all my secrets.
No, it is good to be back. I don't know if...
But you had fun? Family had fun?
I absolutely had a great time. Had a good chance to really use our trailer for the first time, which is awesome.
Did you go fishing?
Yep.
Did you get rained on?
No. I didn't even catch a hangover, which is good.
Really?
Yeah.
Then you weren't trying hard enough.
No, I wasn't trying hard enough.
Yeah.
No, had a marvelous time. Really did.
Did you get rained on?
I
did you say
not.
raped?
No rain?
No, none whatsoever.
Wait, did you ask
okay.
if you got raped on?
Yes.
It was about 15 degrees cooler than it was here in the valley. And the weather was awesome. And actually, we even went out to Fort Bragg, which we brought like 50 sweatshirts for, and it was gorgeous as well. So we just timed it right. And then we left, and 2 nights ago they had a major earthquake. So, shit happens. Yeah, like a 5.2 up there. They went batshit crazy.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous 2-year contracts, they said, what the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass? So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Really?
They did miss.
Either that or they were partying so hard when you rolled out of town because they were so happy that they shook the fucking earth. Either one.
Well, yeah, because the liquor stores actually were able to keep booze in stock.
Right, so there's a run on the liquor stores.
Yeah, too much politics that I missed.
It wasn't a busy news week, though.
Not much happened.
It actually really wasn't.
It was extremely quiet.
Yeah, so we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. It's been a hell of a show. We'll see you next week.
I do want to point out, though, and say thank you, and I don't know if you mentioned this last week. I didn't hear it, but BZ wrote an amazing article about his time at Freedom Fest at BlovianZeppelin.net, and mentioned Ken, mentioned Dave, I'm sorry, not Dave, the professor, just all the great times that we had and all the people together. And you all right over there?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to maintain?
I've got alcohol.
He's got his comfort.
But it was a really great article. I got a ton of compliments from the people that I forwarded to, and I appreciate your kind words.
Well, great.
How amazingly accurate you were in some things, and others you took some liberty. And I won't say what is what because I like to keep the mystery.
Right. Some of it was amazing and glowing, and some of it was complete and utter bullshit. Right. Like, it was just, and the artfulness is that you can't tell which, like Sean said.
Right. It's
awesome.
like politics. It's like politics itself.
Right.
So it was awesome.
Well, if you guys want to see what these two look like, then you need to go.
You don't really want to see.
You really don't.
Most
it's
people don't.
We have faces for radio.
We all have faces for radio.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen somebody beaten with a bag of doorknobs? Let's start there. And not the new doorknobs. I mean the old heavy steel.
So not the crystal ones, but like the actual
the actual
metallic,
steel with the large metal. That's
big
what I'm
heavy
talking
British knockers.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I knew where that was going.
Big British knockers, and we're going to take the show to a different level right now. We're going to redirect you to another website.
Yeah. BritishKnockers.com.
Big British knockers. Yeah.
Agador will be the first to tell me if that's a good website or not, because he's out fact.
Is he the blind guy?
He's a huge screen.
It's a tactile screen.
No, because Agador is awesome. If we say a website like that, he's the first one to jump on and see if it exists.
He is.
And then
he's like, no, you got to go to allaroundthebarnyard.net. Wait, what?
Yes, plasticsheetsandwessonoil.com. That's where you need to go, ladies and gentlemen.
Rooster says he's been there, so that's good.
But when he says he's been there, he means he was starring in the site, not that he's been to the site on his browser. He meant that he's literally
been to the barnyard.
Right.
Or the Wesson Oil and Plastic, or both, which I think is really just a tribute to Florence Henderson, who was the Wesson spokesman for a long time.
Yes, she was.
And had a lot of plastic surgery. So, great website. Go check it out. Safe search off.
Safe search off.
So I see something in blue as our first topic. I don't have my glasses.
Oh, it says surprise Sean.
Oh,
I know how much you love this segment.
Yes.
And it's something that I know is near and dear to your heart. Now, it's not a batshit crazy surprise Sean, as much as I wish it were, but just something that I read about earlier this week, and I wondered if you've seen this article. It's likely you have, but I wanted to get your take on it anyways. Emojis. Hang on. Emojis. We all love them. We use them to communicate in a variety of ways. Some are more confusing than others, apparently, for some people. Right? But, so Apple has an emoji in their keyboard. That's a gun.
Yeah.
They're taking it away and they're putting a squirt gun.
Oh,
because it's nicer.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Good.
So this is the level of batshit crazy that only the left can foster in society.
Sean's building up. I see the red in his face starting to build.
I immediately go back to Bugs Bunny, right?
Fun.
How many times has Daffy Duck been shot in the face, right? And at no point have I ever ran out, and I watched it as a youth.
That's not true. Be careful what you're about to say.
I've never shot Daffy Duck in the face.
With the shotgun.
With the shotgun.
Okay, thank you.
Shot his bill off.
Spun it around a few times.
That's a great visual.
It's been up in his head.
Which, hey, you know what? Maybe that's why inner city youth turn their hats all kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to imitate Daffy Duck's bill. I'm
That's
wondering.
the original duck banger.
I think we're onto something here.
Duck season, fire! Blood season, fire! Crip season, fire!
We just solved one of the great mysteries of the world, folks.
That's why the pants are always down, because you know Daffy has these little legs.
Yes, and the bill of the hat, the bill of Daffy. They're a bunch of little ducks.
We made a connection.
Okay, hang on. Next gangbanger we see walking down the street like
Daffy Duck.
We're going to call him Daffy.
Hey, Daffy.
And what color is Daffy Duck? Anyways, go ahead. What were you saying?
He's got a yellow bill.
Right. What do you think I was talking about?
I don't know.
Why you guys are looking at
yellow
me like,
feet too.
Right.
So he has white eyes.
Right. A white ring around his neck.
Right, like a mallard, if you will. So anyhow,
So hang on, we need a vote from the chat room. Was that racist or funny?
I'm going to go with...
I'm going to go with funny.
I'm going to go with funny on that, too.
Funny.
Because Daffy Duck was black.
Let me...
It's going to go ahead. Wait, we got a racist?
I'm going to get a couple responses in. I'm going to let a couple responses come into the chat room.
If Daffy Duck was black, we're equating him to a gangbanger walking down the street. Racist or funny? Vote now.
And as soon as you say that, Ken comes in the chat room and says, peace to you all. Hey, Ken, this may not be the night. So, anyhow, you have Apple, who's a huge leftist organization, anyhow. And listen.
Which is weird because they're capitalists.
Right. But they're capitalists who love everything to be controlled because it usually gets controlled in their favor.
Right.
The fact that everyone's saying it's funny and racist, funny racist, racist and funny, over and over and over again. I think we nailed it. We
nailed it, basically. That's it. So if we get both votes across the board, we're pretty good.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Awesome.
And Ken was too late to chime in. So.
He doesn't count anyways because he's black.
2/3.
2/3. He gets 2/3 of a vote. So he can say racist, funny, but he can't add to it.
He could say racist and
Right. He can say racist and.
Right. So you have this humongous leftist organization that, let's be honest, all they do is create things through capitalism that they use to control people in a lot of ways, right?
And create jobs and make money, those evil bastards.
Right. And I guarantee you the higher echelon is guarded by people with guns.
Oh, yeah.
However,
we know that.
For some strange reason, they make this bizarre assumption that an emoji gun, which, by the way, I use in some of my best emoji conversations.
Yes. I've actually had somebody pull out an emoji gun on me with a bang and a bomb because I gave him the face with, like, the straight line mouth.
Right. You're taking something, once again, that's completely fictional and just a representation. Yeah, we turn our phones off here. And we turn around and we're going to appease all these groups like Moms on Guns or whatever the hell they call themselves.
MOG.
And they're going to turn around and put a squirt gun.
A green plastic.
Right. Don't get me wrong.
Seen this thing?
They should.
It's even got the orange tip.
I saw it. They should have absolutely had that squirt gun in there this whole time because there are times that squirt guns absolutely are more necessary than a real gun. However,
that's so ridiculous.
The reality is the little gray revolver that it used to be is now being replaced for that because and dirty joke in the chat room.
Which one for?
I can't even. It's a dirty emoji that ended up in the chat room by Rooster of all people.
Weird, right? Weird. So I want to know what are they going to do with the sword and the bomb and the knife?
When's it going to end? When is it that every emoji is just going to be a hug?
You know what I'm waiting for?
A fucking hug.
You know how they have those flags, right? The emoji flags. Like all the different flags. Yeah. I'm waiting for like the ISIS flag.
Oh yeah.
To come up, like Apple to add that. He's so inclusive of them. Is the rainbow flag even there yet?
Hey, why isn't the Palestinian flag there?
Because it doesn't exist.
Oh right.
Oh, the Mexican flag.
Oh, that's not the California flag?
Pretty much.
I was going to say, it doesn't have a bear on it and a red line.
And like a red star.
Right, something.
I remember. I think it says California Republic or something. I don't know. Weird.
So, yeah, no, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Once again, you just have these leftist loons who have to try to mute everything and soften everything and make everyone okay, and we're going to help people, and we love feelings and blah blah. But
here's the thing.
problem.
Do you remember when Apple? So that like the emoticon international association of emoticonism, whatever the frick those people are. But they passed where they were like the international.
What the hell is that?
I don't
emoticonism. I like
emoticonism. Yeah, it's a thing.
It's a disease apparently.
Yeah, it's a thing. But they wanted to create a rifle emoji.
Yes.
And everybody was on board.
Yay!
The entire international emoji community was on board with it. Apple shut it down.
Right. You can't have a rifle because somebody was killed by a rifle.
Here's the thing. You can have poo in here.
Yes.
And you can have smiley poo.
You can have a steaming pile of dog turds.
Why
but you can't have a hand
And people have died. Hey, people have died from poo.
They have.
Yes. Who kills more people than guns?
It's called hepatitis.
Yeah, it's called a lot of things.
It's called poo.
Right, pootitis. But all these they have horses in there. Horses kill people all the time.
They have cars.
They have cars.
Cars kill more
There's
people.
There's a picture of water. You know how many people drown?
Oh wow!
Here?
Airplane.
When is it going to end?
Hang on, let's look and see all of
They
the
have
dangerous things.
V in
that
the
are
alphabet. V for Vietnam. 58,000 soldiers died in
Exactly.
Vietnam.
Wow, why
V
they
should be eliminated.
Do they have a Vietnam flag?
Yes,
they might.
do.
Yeah. So
Yes.
the point to this ridiculous exaggeration
I love getting Sean going on this stuff. By the way, this is why I surprised Sean. Oh, hey, you know what?
Is
Wine.
what I talk
Why is
about-
there emoji of wine? Alcoholism is a serious disease.
a lot of people have.
Why
it
do
too.
we need to make fun of this?
I don't think it's right.
Right?
Right?
What?
Once again, we're dealing with the pussification of America. Everything has to be dumbed down.
I'm glad I'm not the
softened.
only one that says that.
What, America?
Yes,
Agador in the
exactly.
chat room
How did you
nailed
know?
it. It's the Nerf world we're starting to live in, and it's true.
Now, hang on. Let's not knock Nerf guns.
Okay,
Because I am all for having Nerf wars.
I am for a lot of Nerf guns.
Like Nerf war, I think everybody should have a Nerf gun. And if you see somebody in public doing something stupid, you should be able to pull your fucking Nerf gun out and shoot them in the
Blap 'em
face
with
with
it?
it. Yes.
Blap.
Yes, like free. And then everybody, it should be a societal norm, and they just be like, oh yeah, that was
emojis.
right. Like that would be.
Do they have Braille emojis? This is
Braille
Rooster's
emojis.
question, I think.
Whose is that?
Rooster, he wants to know if I'm not even
There's a
answering.
picture of a wedding ring in here.
Right, do you know how many lives
You
that
know how many lives have been ruined by marriages? Seriously, what
You
could
know how many
possibly
good
happen?
men have died because they got married?
Right, either figuratively or literally or emotionally.
But neither way, they're a shadow of their former selves.
Right.
Just literally torn down in front of you. Where the friends are just standing around wondering what the hell happened and when is it going to end.
And what's with all the food?
And that's usually the first marriage.
Look, all the food emojis, right?
Right.
Yeah, look.
Obesity kills.
It does.
That's
it does.
right.
Huge. Diabetes. Why are we making fun of things like this? Ice cream, cake,
Ladder-
donuts. Why do we hate fat people so
Ladders
much?
giving out. I mean,
This is ridiculous. Oh, sports.
yeah.
Like-
People die in sports.
People die in sports all the time.
I hope there's not a water slide on it.
No, there's no water slide.
Okay,
Well,
good.
that's right.
Yeah, because they were going to put one, but because of sensitivities right now.
Right. Right, they
Yeah.
can't do that.
Well, wait.
Oh, there's a
They have
cop.
heads in here.
They have a cop
They
car.
have heads from the water slide.
They have a cop car.
There's a head rolling down a water slide right now.
Cops.
It wouldn't shock me.
Cops kill more people. I mean, listen to the Black Lives Matter
Right.
movement and everything. Why is
All
there a
the
cop
time.
car in here? Horrible.
Trains? You know how many
Trains.
people get smoked by trains?
Yeah.
Like just
Wait,
whoosh, nothing.
hang on, my personal favorite.
Nothing but pair of
what about the
shoes.
needle and the drugs?
Yeah, heroin. Heroin in the Northeast right now is out of control. The East Coast is killing. Heroin's killing people.
Top hats. Here's a top hat right there.
Right.
What president was killed wearing a top hat?
Lincoln.
There you
Yeah,
go.
good one. A cigarette.
Can you
a
prove-
cigarette?
Prove my point.
Tobacco industry, obviously, Apple.
Absolutely. Can you prove Lincoln wasn't killed because of his top hat on some level?
No,
No.
Right. There's-
Unprovable.
Absolutely
Right.
not.
You can't prove that.
Can't
so you
do
have
it.
to go with the assumption that it's true.
That is
It's
true.
evil.
Yeah, and his top hat was black. So could you prove that it wasn't racially motivated?
Ooh. John
Black
Wilkesborough could have been a
top
racist.
hats.
He was a racist.
Right, we all know he was,
Southern,
but-
yeah, he was actually a racist.
Oh, now if we want to go to the
We all
actual
know
facts of the incident, yeah, okay. But
Yeah. Yeah, we don't get ridiculous on this show.
Christmas trees.
Seriously.
How many Christmas trees burn down and kill people in burning homes every year?
A lot.
how many people get drunk
Frank.
and fall on Christmas trees besides me?
Thousands.
I mean, but the
Thousands.
list goes on and on. So to remove one thing because, Moms Against Guns or whatever that stupid-ass group is wanted a bitch.
I
is
got another one for
ridiculous.
surprise Sean.
Oh, I get a double dose. Awesome.
No, I can't do this one.
Why?
Because it came from a
Now-
friend of mine.
okay.
I can't do it.
Now that he
not
said
gonna
he
do
can't do it, now
I'm not
want-
gonna do it.
Now I want to hear it. Whatever
not-
you say, I can't do
You
it.
want- okay.
I want to hear it.
Look at how little talking in he needed. And you only said a sentence and a half.
It's going to be great radio.
And he
Yeah, I'm
went,
gonna do it.
He went from nope, not gonna, no, not gonna do
Not
it,
gonna do it.
no,
Fuck it, let's
no.
do it.
Oh yeah, good call, BZ.
Good call, you
pushed me
guys.
into it.
Yeah, you totally pushed me into it. So I had a conversation with somebody today. They're very, very intelligent. Actually, this person's ridiculously awesome. But here was their point. That the underlying principles, as outlined in the 4 organic documents, are not the law. And that the Constitution supersedes them all. And that those other documents, Articles of Confederation, Northwest Ordinance, and the Declaration of Independence, can't be taken into consideration as a valid basis for the law.
Wow. Who, what? Well, first of all...
Now, this person knows nothing about the law because they're an attorney. So that being said...
Well, I think the answer right there.
That being said, this person's a friend of mine, is awesome and is actually ridiculously intelligent. But I thought, based upon our prior shows,
But it
you'd find that
absolutely
interesting. So I wanted to surprise Sean with
It
that.
absolutely can have. It can lend interpretation purposes to the law, to the Constitution.
Right. It's the principles
Right.
that are the important.
Right. So it's the
And
reference.
I think that was yeah.
The reference for the Constitution is
No,
that's where
not
you go.
valid.
All right. So you know what? Disbar. Because
No, this guy's brilliant. Like legitimately.
Apparently
a really
not.
good attorney.
apparently he's a moron.
No, he's not.
No, I would submit that he's an idiot.
No, he's not.
I mean, what ambulance did he hit his head on when he was chasing it?
He's not. The guy is brilliant. He's awesome. He's got
based
great
on that
arguments.
statement. All right,
But I
based on
thought
that
that was-
statement,
I thought that was
no,
interesting.
you're having me judge him on one thing.
No, I'm
that
not
he
having
said.
you judge
No,
him. I want a reaction.
You wanted my reaction.
I want a reaction
My
to the
reaction is judgment. No, it's
the
judgment.
statement, not
I am
to him.
judging him.
No, don't judge him.
Too late. He should be used to this. Judgment made.
I hope he's
against him.
listening because I hope he calls in. If you're listening, please call in.
No, I don't agree with that statement.
Hang on, I'm going to text him and tell him to call in.
I don't agree with that statement whatsoever. I think it's ridiculous. It's the reference point for the Constitution. This is what they were thinking. It allows us to see the mindset of the framers and why they put in certain things the way they put it.
Right.
It is no more than did he read any sort of law reference in law school? Or when he's getting ready for a case, does he reference case law for it? He must, right? That's like saying the case law doesn't matter because this law is completely separate. This is
Right.
a completely separate case from that one.
What does the Supreme
Yeah, but-
Court go back to when they're looking for
Right, they go
constitutional
back to case
principles?
law.
They go down to principles, right?
Oh, sorry.
They're looking to the
so
for something
if he's
constitutional.
representing somebody in a case, you say, well, everything else that's ever been decided in a case like this gets thrown out because, well, no, we have constitutional law on this.
Right.
We have case law. We
Now,
use
he
that
is
as
a
our
personal
reference
injury
point.
attorney.
Okay,
So I am going to
so
throw
now
that
we're
out
back
there.
to the ambulance chasing.
he is a personal injury
All right,
attorney.
so he's a moron. No, I'm sure he's a lovely guy.
No, he legitimately is, but
Just never let him
he is.
represent
I
me.
mean, he does do like ambulance personal injury.
Yeah, so he doesn't
stuff.
really know the law.
No,
so he
he's
just
been a
knows
lawyer,
how to
I
get.
think, for like 6 months. So he's one of those ideologues, fresh out of law school.
He probably so
you
essentially
know.
he.
I think he has
knows-
like one pubic hair, something like that.
So essentially,
telling
he's just
me.
going to be able to like get money from insurance companies.
Right,
He knows
yeah,
how to
no,
So
do
he's,
that.
he's like Better Call Saul. If anybody's seen Breaking Bad.
Better call Saul. Oh yeah, no, this is absolutely ridiculous.
But besides the fact of being an ambulance chaser, the man legitimately is brilliant.
Apparently not.
Not on constitutional issues.
I was gonna
but
say,
on other things.
on
The
other
man's
things, he
brilliant.
may be
And
brilliant
no.
as a son of a
Look, he's
bitch.
dead wrong in a lot
But
of
when it
things,
co-
politically speaking.
but when
and
it comes to his
constitutionally-
knowledge of
apparently.
Constitution and what he
but when
does
it
for a
comes to
living-
his knowledge of, like, you know, I rolled my ankle, the guy's a brilliant man.
Right, he knows what to write in order to get a ton of money for the insurance company.
Right.
Genius. I can Google that.
No. No, legitimately.
Oh no, I can't.
No, you can't.
Okay, all right. I just wanted
Well,
to.
not in California because this law is so complex.
Oh yeah, no, I still
Yeah.
couldn't Google that.
No, not
I
at all.
absolutely couldn't go online and find a disposition of everything that was put into a case and just download it, change a couple of the words, and then bounce mine back. Yeah, that couldn't happen.
So I don't have time to get into the second part of what I wanted to talk about in this segment. So I hope we'll get to it in the Trump block coming up at 9:00 because it's interesting, and I actually want to get everybody's take on it here. Let's cut into a. What the hell was that?
None of your damn business. Just sit over there
Seriously,
and
you sat here for 28
Don't
minutes and
touch
you're already
anything.
hitting stuff like you're me over
You
there.
just sit
I
over
could
there
have
and
done that.
flap your gums there.
Sure, I could have done that.
Talking
What's this
head.
button do? I can fucking do that.
You do it all the time.
Exactly.
What
That's
did I
my
say
job.
2 weeks ago on Wednesday night after you left, or after we got off the air? I said, I better set up the show for next week. BZ, let me show you how to do this because Clint's a moron. That's exactly what I said.
Unfortunately,
Hey, have I
that's,
ever claimed?
that's word
Have
for
I
word.
ever claimed
That's
that I was
exactly
not a
word for
moron
word.
when it comes to technology? Never. Never. I've never claimed that.
How long have we been doing
And
this?
I like, by the way, you had one commercial button. So I had to literally play the same commercial.
Big, bold letters.
Commercial. Oh, that was one button.
I also had one marked power. Draw thingy. Microphone.
When we come back,
Yes,
sir, you were on deck.
I am on deck.
And I really hope so. The individual I talked about earlier that made that remarks. Like, legitimately, I would love to have him on the show. I don't know if he'd be willing to come on the show, but he would give us a run for his money because we actually have awesome political conversation. Like, legitimately.
that'd be great.
And to give you a heads up on him, he's actually a blue dog.
Wow.
So he's actually very reasonable in a lot of issues.
Oh, but you know what? I was able to search. Yep, I found one of his arguments in court.
Okay.
Yep. I did. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I understand,
That
Counselor.
might have been...
I understand. No, Counselor, now easy. There you go. Cool. Thank you, Counselor. We appreciate it.
Counselor, stop. Look, you're dead wrong on this one, sir. I'm sorry. We're
up against the break. When we come back, it's going to be the Clinton Block here on the Sackheads Radio Show.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, I think we're back here on the Sackheads
I think
Radio
we are
Show.
too.
Live on the SHR Media Network. If somebody would stop talking. Oh, wait, no, start talking. Well, that's kind of a weird. Why don't you start talking about the show?
Nah, he's on strike now.
I can't. I'm not even union.
He's like a good
I'm one of the
SEIU
freaking owners.
employee.
I can't strike against myself.
That would be awesome.
How does this even work? By the way,
We should protest
if
that
people
stuff
want
like
in the
that.
chat room want to know who the broad giggling in the corner is, okay? This broad is seriously hammering back an entire bottle of wine and enjoying the show.
And that's just a regular Wednesday between 6 and 8 p.m. for her.
Actually,
Actually,
it kind of is.
I applaud her for it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's pretty awesome. I'm not
National
gonna
Drugs for
lie.
America Unite.
Yeah, it's pretty
So we can unionize.
It's one of my favorite things, actually, about her.
Well, you know, I appreciate the fact that she actually has a silly straw sticking out of the bottle. I think that's nothing. That says class about a woman. And the best part is it almost looks like she just found it on the way here, and she was like, "Oh,
this will be a good idea," right? And then the entire box of wine, like that she just has, keeps drinking
She's
straight
out of it.
Yeah, she's like, "Have you ever seen a box stand? Watch this."
Well, hold
my wine. Watch this.
You know, you're supposed to just like twist the tab to let the air back in. I like the fact that she pulled out a knife and just stabbed the backside of it, because she was like, "It's never going to tip that way again and have enough in it to fall out."
You're up, sir. This is your block.
Oh, sorry, box wine.
And thus the nickname is born. We have the bloviating Zeppelin.
And box
we have
wine.
box wine in the corner.
Congratulations.
Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint in studio tonight.
He'll never come back again.
Box wine.
What didn't Hillary Clinton do this week? That's the
Bill.
Now that hasn't happened for at least a decade.
So, first of all, I want to address a couple things I saw online. There's a couple so-called medical documents from Hillary with her doctor, where allegedly somebody got a hold of some of the...
was the DNA test came back and she is in fact a demon?
No. There was no DNA. So, yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Were they talking about how she needs, she has all these mental problems and all these other things?
No.
I don't know. It looked valid enough. However, I like to caution people against stuff like that because, listen, we have enough on Hillary Clinton that we don't need to make shit up anymore. I mean,
seriously.
Yeah.
She's on lifetime blood thinners.
Yeah. For the rest of her day.
And remember, there's a photo that's on my blog of her being helped up some steps, and there's a rather large black guy over on the left. And people were saying that that's a Secret Service agent. That's not a Secret Service agent.
It's a helper.
Because he was wearing an ID tag, and everybody knows that Secret
Service agents don't wear those.
Wear ID tags.
Unless the new one's bringing in because their feds don't know who the hell they are and they need to remind themselves. Like that's a possibility. I would say that for sure if it was FBI.
There was a great video that went through. They had this guy who claimed to be a neurosurgeon or a neuroprofessional and went through all of her mannerisms and discussed how they're nervous twitches and signs of different illnesses. And even if it was not true, I laughed my ass off just watching them loop her different facial mannerisms. My favorite one, have you seen the one with the balloons falling?
No.
She looks like a cartoon. Like, it's like a Bugs Bunny, like, over and over again. It's amazing. I know nobody could see that, but it's amazing to me.
That's a gesticulation made for radio.
Okay,
everybody catch that
Speaking
one?
of Hillary Clinton, and I know Big Fat Paulie, if he's listening, will be excited about this. There's breaking news that cougars could help control the growing number of deer herds.
Well,
wrong type?
No. I think I think they can be caught.
So does Big Fat Paulie.
Oh man. So I just want to caution people against reading too far into what we don't know and just dealing with what we do know. What we do know is every single time somebody releases an email anywhere, it's horrible and Hillary Clinton's involved. We know all about when she was at the State Department, the fixing of jobs, essentially, where they're promising certain people who volunteered or did work or knows somebody from the foundation. Essentially, if you read everything that goes along with it, it's like people were buying jobs at the Department of State through the Clinton Foundation. They would donate money and then get somebody hired. And there's direct emails with Huma Abedin and the other ones who are essentially acknowledging, like, it's almost like the mob. Hey, you know what?
And the DOJ putting a lid on everything.
Everything. I mean, we haven't seen cover-ups by this with the DOJ since Whitey Bulger.
No, and you is it on the top half of newspapers around the nation? Of course not.
No.
You want to find out really what's going on that? You do what I do. You go over to British media.
Yes.
And read it on British media. Then you'll find out the whole story.
Yes. So, Nike 1 missile, goodbye deer. I don't know if we need to go to that extreme yet to get rid of the deer population. But it would be fun. I just, at this point, do we need any more of examples of corruption by Hillary Clinton? I mean, do we really think... don't get me wrong. I'm glad this is all coming out. And I'm glad that WikiLeaks has dumped a bunch of stuff. I'm glad... what was the other group that just, through the Freedom of Information Act, got a whole bunch of other emails that weren't previously released by State Department?
Right.
And I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the organization right now. But...
Yes.
We'll wait for you.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm so messing with him right now. Every time he looks away, I look over at him, and he's looking down, so I feel like he's just not listening to me again.
What?
But it's Judicial Watch. It was the group. Thank you very much, Ken McClinton, the exceptional conservative. But it's almost like... it's almost the exact opposite of what I wanted to happen, where people are just so sick of hearing about our corruption, they're not paying attention anymore.
Well, here's what Julian Assange is going to do, and I predict that it's going to come out in October. He's sitting on an assload of emails.
Yes.
And I believe that he's personally going to wait until right around October, a month or less before the November election.
And slam them.
And we're going to see emails that were classified. We're going to see emails that were sent to Russia and China and North Korea. Mm-hmm. And I believe we're also going to find out what specifically happened at Benghazi. Yep. And we're going to find out more information about Benghazi. And every one of them are going to be damning.
They will, but is it enough? And that's good. That's really going to be the key question, right? Because
actually, that's a valid question.
It is. It really is. Look,
because if she could escape all this shite, then who's to say?
Yeah, and look, Trump is so polarizing, and there are how many people out there are like, yeah, Hillary is a freaking train wreck, but Trump can't get out of his own way, and we talked about this last week.
He can't keep
Trump
his
cannot get out of his own damn way.
Well, I said this during the DNC. I think I tweeted out, if I was Donald Trump, I would just be sitting by my pool having a daiquiri right now. You don't need to do anything to unseat them right now.
You really don't. And here's the thing. Julian Assange wants Donald Trump to win because he'll probably be a one-term president unless he really turns it around. And then they can get somebody far left in there because Hillary is going to be too...
Are we in an LZ that I didn't know about?
That kind of sounds like it.
I know, right?
That might be the feds.
Okay, good.
Do you remember what happens before our internet goes down when we start talking about some weird stuff?
All right, go ahead.
You know it's going to be a black helicopter. You know it right off the bat.
Right, because you can't see
markings, right?
Right, because it's evil. Wait, what?
Because it's a federal helicopter.
Right, what'd you think
I
I
knew
meant?
what you meant.
Yeah, it wasn't racial
stop with
at all. You are the blatant bigot in this partnership here, mister.
Wait a minute. With this kind of stuff going on, I got to go back into chat and see what Ken is saying. I'm sure he's saying... Wait, now, let me go back into chat. All right, Ken, where are you?
Where the white women at?
Come on. There he is. There's Ken. He says, racist.
So, anyway, Ken, you know that's not true. We let you clear our dishes in Vegas.
Where do you want the glasses, boss? Put it over there next to the bourbon, son. Rochester. I mean, Ken.
Oh, Rochester.
Nice shirt. Is that cotton? Come on, Ken. Enough. Like it's old already.
I told you I was sorry 10 times. My
family wasn't even here. Sorry.
I was going to say.
I don't know what to tell you.
No, and you know, he may, Agador had a good question in the chat room, is what happens if Assange starts releasing emails on Trump? He may.
He may, but I don't, look, Assange is far left.
I don't think that's his point.
I don't. He's doing this because she's
not left enough.
No.
That's right. That is exactly
it is. And
right.
he wants Trump to get elected.
Insufficiently left.
Yeah.
So you get Trump elected for a one-term president because you think he's going to screw it up, and then you get somebody far left in there like Bernie Sanders 4 years later. But guess what? I'll take that because in that 4 years of Trump, we're going to get Supreme Court justices.
Right.
You're going to get three, possibly four.
Yeah,
you're going to get three
exactly
in the next 4 years.
And you have a Congress that he really can't screw with or do anything too ridiculously crazy.
Right.
So,
and I brought up Assange, and I wanted to talk to you because Jersey Joe put this in the chat room. Have you been following this whole Julian Assange hints that DNC staffer was murdered for giving emails to
Yes,
WikiLeaks?
I heard that.
Yes.
And if that's not something right out of, like we were talking about last week, you can't write this shit.
Yeah.
Well, and listen,
It writes itself.
we've all seen the Clintons at their worst, right? We've all read.
We haven't.
Well, we haven't but-
yet. Although if we keep pissing them off,
I was going to say we could be on the list soon.
hey, wrong stadium. That's all I'm saying. Bring a lunch.
But the reality is even if it's hard for me to even be like, oh God, no, that would never happen. Look at Tammy J's article, which she just released.
Yep.
Another one, the 47 Bodies of Hillary Clinton. She just released an addendum to that 2 weeks ago, which was amazing. And even let's just say 20% of them are right. Let's just say half.
Still, let's say 10%.
10. Let's say if there's 4.7.
Let's say 5%. Let's say one
Right.
person was
then you can never doubt it again.
right.
Because that possibility is always there. And the fact that he just randomly died, what was it, a day before the DNC, and it got zero coverage, and he was just shot randomly in a Washington park. And again, hasn't been solved. It's weird. It's almost like the girl in Washington with the Starbucks who was double tapped to the back of the head during a robbery.
It wasn't a professional hit.
But it wasn't a professional
No,
hit
not at
because
all.
the door was locked and there was still money in the cash register. But it was a
Right.
robbery, according to the
It was a
DC
robbery
police.
with a double tap to the back.
Oh,
of the head.
and her two co-workers who were witnesses got killed as well. They were all forced to go into a...
Oh, because it was a robbery.
Right, it was a...
And they stole a bunch of...
Right.
No, they didn't do that.
No, and the door was locked from the inside.
No, they took a bunch of stuff off of...
No.
No, they didn't do that either.
No.
Huh.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, what about...
Somebody smarter than me can figure it out.
What about the state trooper in Arkansas who warned his whole family that the Clintons were going to kill him, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, he was killed in his car driving to one of his his new job.
No, that's not because
No,
it's not.
and
I mean,
he was
the Clintons had no connection to Arkansas,
And he was their
other
personal...
Than, oh wait, unless
personal bodyguard and part of the detail for
there-
protection.
I'm trying to think.
It was near Whitewater and all that other...
Oh wait, yeah, there was a connection to Arkansas with the Clintons.
Oh, yeah.
About
White,
that.
it was a white Crown Vic. It was a white Crown Vic that pulled up and ran him off the road, and then...
Cops.
Rogue, gotcha.
The evil cops
Right,
did it.
rogue
You said it
cops,
right
yeah.
there. Crown Victoria had
Yeah.
to be the cops that did it. And, look at... And all the evidence I can point to in the world is that you listen to Black Lives Matter and some of these other folks, and cops are out there just willy-nilly killing folks. So I bet that's what happened with
Yeah,
this
it
one.
must
That's
have...
a
It's been
racist
going on
term.
for a long time.
I have a good black friend that's named Willie. And you saying that's just racist.
Good.
Got him.
Racist or
That's
funny?
bad.
Got him.
Yeah, willy-nilly.
Doesn't
Was his last
matter.
name Nilly?
Yes.
Perfect.
His first name was
But...
Willie.
Millie.
Millie. Oh, jeez.
Millie. But the...
Lemon Jello?
Shafid.
See, now that's funny, and that's more racist than anything I said.
Right, that's
So you
way
know. Just so you know.
You jerk.
We have an EEO policy here at FDR, just so you know.
And I need to toe the line.
I think somebody needs sensitivity training.
Yes. Let's send him to sensitivity training. Get a glass. I'm pouring you some whiskey.
I'm going to pour you some sensitivity training right now. So that's just some of Hilly's disaster, the Hill Dog.
Hilly Vanilli.
The Hilly Vanilli. The Hill Dog
white.
disaster.
I see what you did there.
Right. No, I like
Right,
that
that's
you did
good.
that. Did you have anything that you wanted to bring up?
Oh, God, I'm listening to this whole conversation, just loving it.
We gotta
I'm gonna
move
sit over
on.
here with my bottle.
This is just getting
Right
worse.
here. Go on, Hillary Block. Let's.
Well, then we got off on Assange, and I've lost all my notes.
Well, when you throw them in the air and say this shit, like it's, you tend to lose shit that way, Sean. Let's not.
Well,
okay. So how about look? We talked earlier this week a little bit. We kind of had a conversation about Hillary doubling down on her remarks when she said that the FBI said that she didn't lie. And everybody, by everybody, I mean just a couple people at Fox News. Everybody was like, oh, that's not what he said. He didn't say you didn't lie. Right. Oh, yeah, no, he totally said I didn't lie to them when I went in to talk to him on that Saturday when everybody was out. she's not clarifying this, and she was sticking with that story.
She's like, I don't know if you heard what I heard. Wait, where was she speaking of the country at that time? If it was in the South, she'd be like, I don't know if y'all heard what I heard.
Yeah, and then if she was on the West Coast but in Southern California, she'd be like,
oh my God,
I don't know if you
heard what I heard.
And oh my God, let me just tell you.
But I'm pretty sure she was in Chicago. Go.
You didn't build that.
Yeah, but contrary to what Comey said was, hey, she broke a whole bunch of laws, and we're not prosecuting her for it.
And he said she lied to all of you, just not to us on that Saturday she was in talking to us.
Right. So, and then she doubles down on it. That's the best part.
Yes.
She's like, hey, not only am I a criminal who just haven't been prosecuted, but I'm actually a criminal that hasn't been prosecuted. So I just want to make sure we're all clear on that.
Yeah, and James Comey said, I didn't lie.
That was her big thing. Comey said, I didn't lie.
Yeah, she said, Comey said I didn't lie.
No, and that's exact opposite of what he actually said.
Well, he did say she didn't lie at the time on that Saturday they were talking to her. But every time else, he was like, yeah, she lied.
No, she was lying her ass off.
Yeah, the entire time to the American
quite
people.
literally, we had to pick it up and hand it back to her.
Right, literally, not only she had white girl ass before, but literally it's like a straight line from her back because she lied the rest of it off, literally.
It's just, she has such little ass that Hoomer's not interested anymore.
It actually goes in now. It's an indentation.
Have you ever seen a frog on its hind legs? It's something like that, I'm pretty sure.
Wow, that's like old man ass.
Rooster wants you to clarify white girl ass. Yes, and you know what? I do too.
Okay. Here's white girl ass. Ready? Draw a line from the back of a white girl straight down to her calf. That's white girl ass.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Apparently unfamiliar with the term pog.
Yeah. Maybe like if we're talking about a roadway, like a speed undulation that's like 45 years old, that's been worn down a lot, so it's like barely a rise, like that. Right there. Like no shape, just down like a barely little bit. And Hillary Clinton lied that off. So not only does she have white girl ass under gravity conditions, because she's older, right? But she even lied that off.
Dave Agador is really concerned that with her current mental condition, she'll start talking like a Southerner in California, then a New Yorker in Ohio, then a Midwesterner in New York, and really blow her whole cover. I'm sure that's a concern from somebody on her team.
Right.
They're like, we have to market this shit, and she won't stick with the script. I bring up old comedians every once in a while. Bob Newhart, back in the 60s, did an amazing skit called Makin' Lincoln. And it was, at the time, he was talking about all these firms who these candidates hire to kind of create an image for them and make them electable. And it was during the time when Nixon blew his first election attempt because he was just this horrible candidate and looked terrible against JFK. And so he went into it with Lincoln, and he was like, here's my bit of what it would be like to create Lincoln. Like, there was no Lincoln. So, and he goes into this whole skit on how Lincoln's sitting on a train calling him, and he's like, I know you've written your notes on index cards, but we're really pushing the whole back of the napkin thing. People will really catch on to it. Like, and it goes on for about 15 minutes of all the cool things that Lincoln did that made him Lincoln, but it was made up by this PR company. That's what you get with Hillary. It's all a PR thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
and she reinvents herself every few years.
Right.
She's like a frickin' Picasso. Or a Dali. Yeah. And that's smart art humor for those of you in the chat room. Yeah. Just Google some stuff.
Hey, Pablo, look around the room. Does anyone else look like that?
No, not give you if you're Mexican and your name's Pablo. We don't mean
I give you an F.
Disparaging way. Or from 50 First Dates.
Yeah.
Who are you? Oh, you're Pablo Picasso. Oh, really? Cool.
No.
Oh, crap.
But I almost am exhausted with how much crap comes out negative with Hillary Clinton. Not because I don't want to see it, but it's inundating at this point. I've given up trying to read the emails. I've got probably about halfway through them, and I've lost interest to the point of I know she's corrupt. I don't know what else.
Here's the thing. We know she's corrupt, and we know Trump's a fucktard. Who do we vote for?
Not corruption.
Trump, right.
That's
right.
the easy choice.
That's the easy choice,
I mean,
right?
I had this conversation while I was camping, and even if it is incompetence with Trump, if you believe he's truly incompetent, do you deal with incompetence or evil?
You deal with incompetence, and here's why.
You could train incompetence.
Well, not only that, but I had this discussion with somebody else. As a matter of fact, it was the ambulance chaser I had the discussion with.
Well, there's a shock.
No, but he was actually very receptive to it.
I'm sure he was.
No, he really was.
I quote.
Well, I think he was receptive because he didn't really understand what I was talking about. No, but
you use big words.
I think Trump would surround himself with a team. Look at the multi-billion-dollar industry that he's made, right, and that he manages, and how that's managed. Even with his family, it's a team that really manages the projects and manages the company. Mm-hmm. Trump would surround himself, even though the guy may be freaking ridiculous on a lot of levels. He's not stupid,
right?
And he would surround himself with people that are very, very intelligent. And I think he will listen to their input. He may not heed their input or advice, right? But he would absolutely take that into consideration. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that I don't think that a lot of reasonable people would disagree with that. And so that, coupled with the Supreme Court nominations, is why I really got to vote for Trump and hope that he would do the right thing or do a halfway decent job. I don't know, even if maybe he's a one-term president. But I think that's the difference between him and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton thinks that she's been in the game so long and that she knows absolutely everything that she wouldn't take the advice or listen to the input of others because she thinks she knows it all.
Right.
And we know she's dirty, or we believe she's dirty based on everything else. We know she's a freaking liar.
The problem is she does know it all. She knows how to use that position for total corruption and self-preservation. I mean, that's what really a big part of the Hillary issue.
Here's the astounding thing. You've got Hillary Clinton and you've got the media. The media is supporting Hillary Clinton in every way imaginable, and she's still having a difficult time.
Oh, yeah, no, she's...
it's astounding. Talk about in the tank. Completely in the tank.
She can't save herself from herself. The media keeps trying to save herself. Keeps trying to save her, sorry. And not even close. Not even close.
Yeah, it's...
I think there's...
Yeah, it's scratchy.
Yeah, I know what's causing the scratchiness, and we can at the break, but... yeah, well, it's not the headphones that's causing the scratchy. It's you moving the headphones that's causing the scratchy.
It's the splitter. That's what I talked about when you said we're going to split the sound.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's coming from the microphone.
I'm not touching
because
the
if it came from the splitter,
I'm not touching the fucking microphone. God damn it! It's the one thing my nose is big, but it's not bumping the fucking microphone this time.
It's causing
I'm not touching the damn table.
You said earlier.
I did. Oh, it's the table.
If it was the headphone splitter, I wouldn't be able to hear it.
I'm not touching. Oh yeah, it's the table. I can't touch the frickin' table.
Well,
quit splitting my feed.
Hey, you know,
why do I have to share?
BZ, last week, the week before, early in the show, do we have any issues with that microphone?
Actually, no, we didn't have one.
And then somebody showed up tonight and decided he was going to move the stand from one side of the desk to the other, right?
Because this is where my frickin' stand was pre. No.
Hey, I asked him a question. It's our guest.
No, but you're talking about me. Listen. I need another fucking guys.
Honk, honk.
Rise! Where's that soundbite we used to have it?
I know. Oh man.
Oh my God! All right. So I moved my microphone because this is where it has been.
Yeah.
For years.
I know, and I moved that for a reason.
And you moved it over there. Yes, you don't screw with the man's setup.
I did it for a reason.
Well, don't. What? This is my space. You don't.
I did it for a reason because on that side of the table moves more and it causes interference.
Yeah. No, look. You can't do that. You have to consult with the man who's operating the equipment, right?
Oh boy.
It's like changing out my firing pin or something. You don't do that. How'd you like it if I took that burrito and moved it to the other side of your desk? Like, you'd be not happy with that.
Like, I wouldn't jump over the desk and eat it.
Right, dude. And I would move my microphone.
It's me we're talking to here. Yeah, but I wouldn't move the burrito back. I would just eat it like a cat on a counter.
Good point. Good point. Forget I said anything.
That turned out way better than talking about Hillary for 30 minutes. Hey, we're up against a break. We come back. We're going to discuss Trump. Oh, good. Let's just jump to the other side of that aisle right here on the Sackheads Radio Show.
It's by design.
I figured it. Live on the SHR Media Network.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Hello, I'm Matt, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is Hillsdale President Larry Arnn on the continuing relevance of the Constitution.
Many argue today that the Constitution is outdated because it addresses problems peculiar to the 18th century. Some parts of the Constitution do read rather quaintly. Consider the injunction against titles of nobility in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. But is that so outdated? The purpose of the injunction is to prevent the government granting special privileges to some for partisan reasons. This strikes at the heart of the rule of law. The crony capitalism so common today is a place where the government bestows favors and tax dollars on some businesses to give them a leg up over others. This is exactly the kind of thing the Constitution was meant to prohibit. The Constitution is not so outdated after all.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To join the national conversation on the Constitution, go to constitutionminute.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Millman. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians.
You didn't build that.
A team of ordinary men who emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cowards.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Socko as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR.
Conservative media done right.
Done awesome. I forgot I was halfway through my intro. Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. Thank you so much for joining us.
Ken says good night. Good night, Kitten. Does anybody call him Kitten?
Kitten. Good night, Kitten.
Good night, Kitten.
Narcolepsy to bed. You can't help us with that.
Put narcolepsy to bed. Oh, man.
Him somehow? We need a vote in the chat room. Was this show too racist for Ken?
Or funny? Was it too
or
funny
was
for
it
Ken?
too funny for Ken?
Yeah, was Ken unable to deal with the humor? We'll have to find out in the chat room. Let's go to
all this and more.
Dave says those are the best shows. Have a bunch of topics and do general jackassery while throwing a topic in once in a while.
Where have you been? That is Sackheads Radio right there.
That's the whole format.
That is the whole format.
Well, and Rooster wanted to know.
I'm the only one drinking, which is not okay.
Right. Rooster wanted to know where the poignant conversation from the commentary from the show went, and I said it's there. It's just between the jackassery. So it's fine.
When did you get all serious, Rooster?
Of all people.
Of all people. Yeah, Rooster's the serious one.
Remember when he used to come on our show and talk about women and nonstop?
Yes.
It's amazing. When people are on the air with us, how different they are.
Really? Seriously.
On their own shows and comments.
On their own shows. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. Blah, blah, blah. Bullshit. On the Sackheads Radio Show, tits, ass, cock, balls, pussy,
it's funny.
Black,
It's
racist.
Funny. Hey, we can be serious too.
Yeah. Balls.
So let's talk about Trump.
I'm the only one drinking, and this is not okay with me.
And you get to walk home.
Exactly.
Just so you guys know, I don't know what you're talking about.
Take the J bus.
I'm driving. No, I'm not driving. Look, so new poll out that Hillary Clinton is widening her lead over Trump.
Yes.
Trump said, and I wanted to talk about this earlier under the Surprise Sean segment, but Trump's remarks about the 2A crowd.
Yeah, handling.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was.
I thought it was funny. That's something we'd say. Granted, we're not running for president.
Right. Granted, the Secret Service is right there next to us saying, yeah, probably not a good idea. But here's the thing.
But look, so I think, in my opinion, he was making a joke. Right? You don't fuck with people with guns.
Right.
You don't screw with that cow. Right? With that crowd. That's kind of like a sacred cow in this country.
Right.
Not only is it a Second Amendment right, but those people take that right very seriously, and they understand what oppression is, and they're not afraid to fight against tyranny. Mm-hmm. And there is nothing unconstitutional or unprincipled about the implication there.
Right.
People just didn't like it.
Right.
And the way he presented it, I thought, was kind of a tongue-in-cheek, kind of a jokey way, kind of like, oh yeah, hey, don't screw with him, he's got a gun. Right? Kind of that way where some people would joke. And this whole freaking country needs an enema.
Right.
Okay?
This town needs an
enema. This whole country needs an enema. Give me a freaking break.
Right.
Since when can a U.S. citizen not make a statement like that or a joke like that? And now the Trump campaign is trying to walk it back and spin it.
Well, because...
No, don't spin it.
Right.
I want to see Trump come out and say, you know what? Yeah, I said it. I said it because it was freaking funny, because you people take this shit. I mean, give me a break. You know, she's seriously going to go after people with guns, and those aren't people I'd screw with. That's funny because of the implication that's there. And it's true. They take it very seriously.
And Jersey Joe in the chat brought up a really good point. There was a time when Biden and Clinton both made slight hints about Obama and potential risk to him. I won't even say the word so we don't pop up on the radar again. But
yeah. But I mean, this is look. It may have been in poor taste.
Yeah.
Right. It might not be something that a presidential candidate.
It's uncouth.
Traditional should say. Yes. It is absolutely uncouth. But for the Trump campaign, own it for what it is and the
move
spirit
on.
in which it was meant.
And stop trying
as a
to
joke.
fix. And here's
So
the
trying
thing.
to fix it.
Here's the thing with the Trump people, and he has been completely outspoken and against the grain from the beginning. The worst thing you want to do right now in August before a November election is start trying to go the other way with that, because then the insincerity will start to pop up in people's minds, and that will stick more than him speaking.
I blame his
look.
I blame his campaign for this. I agree with his campaign that they've actually been kind of keeping him on message.
Yep.
He's done
a little bit better more recently.
He's done a better job with that more recently. But look, when he does something that's Trump-esque, and really, in my opinion, this is not a big deal, because I took it in the spirit of which I think it was actually meant. Don't frickin' spin it. People love Trump because he's real and he's one of them. And that's something that one of them would say. Does that make sense?
Listen to the statement. He said, quote, literally, Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, if she gets to pick a judge, there's nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. You know what I take that to mean? Who's some of the greatest fighters for the Second Amendment? They fight a political fight. He's not talking about guns. People that believe in the Second Amendment get behind the NRA, and they fight and they lobby. That's what I took that as.
Right.
See, I actually took it as, maybe they can because, you guys got guns and you know what your rights are. And I took it as that. Like if somebody were to come in, which I'm still okay with. I mean, he's not advocating the death of anybody. No. I didn't take it as any kind of threat or him advocating violence against anybody because, as you know, our show, we don't stand for that.
Right.
We don't
at all.
We don't. No, we don't support violence. Look, we disagree vehemently with Obama. We disagree with Hillary. I would never want anything violent to happen to either one of those, individuals, or to our president of the United States.
No,
or anybody else.
It's politics.
Never. It's politics. It is what it is.
And you can't take it personal.
No, but do I think that a state has a lawful right to secede? Yes, I do. Do I think that people have a right to stand up against tyranny?
Yes.
Absolutely, I do.
Yeah. Yep. Do you believe in the foundational documents? Yes, I do.
Yes. So, and that's kind of how I took that. I think it was meant to be funny. And I think Trump should say, yeah, I meant that to be funny. Like, are you going to pick a fight with the biggest guy on the block or the toughest guy on the block? No, you're not. It was meant to be kind of funny and like, hey, call attention to something.
For those who haven't seen it on CNN, Dan Bongino, I don't know if you guys know who he is.
Yep, former Secret Service agent, for NYPD cop, ran for office a few times.
Yep. He had a knockdown drag-out with Don Lemon on CNN. And ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen that video, you need to go to YouTube and watch it.
Yeah.
It's actually quite excellent. And the CNN loonies, and Lemon, he can run hot and cold. But the absolute way that they are refusing to see it in any other way other than he wants people killed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
but
no,
not see it in any other fashion. He's advocating for people to be killed.
It's been pushed left and right from the beginning. Everything that he said that's at all questionable in these regards. Oh, he's advocating for the death of people. Black Lives Matter. He's advocating for black people to be killed. No, he's not.
No.
Oh,
he's not implying. He doesn't
want illegals to be killed. No, he's not. I mean, listen, I don't agree with everything that comes out of his mouth, but that doesn't mean he's this monster they want him to be.
No,
and you know what? There was even an article run this week just about the. Look, the media has always kind of been biased. Most of the media has always been biased towards the left. But have you ever seen this kind of attack on a candidate?
No,
never.
No, this is...
Which means I think they're afraid of him.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
They are afraid of him.
Here's why they're afraid of him. Because their initial efforts to shoot him down and take him out immediately, right off the bat, and completely invalidate him, failed miserably.
And just so you guys know, when BZ just talked about shooting him down,
it wasn't actually.
Yeah, it wasn't meant literally. It was meant figuratively. And so don't take that, far left media. Please don't take that and say that SHR Media or the Seconds Radio Show is implying that at all, because we're not. Although you bastards probably wouldn't pick it up anyways because it's in reference to Donald Trump.
And you watched from the beginning whenever he would speak and you'd have the immigrants or illegal immigrants show up and protest with signs when they were crashing the smaller meetings, the media tried to blow that out of the oh, look at this, he wants to do, and then he'd come out and be like, yeah, I never said that. All I said is I want to build a wall and start working on immigration. I never said that I wanted to just kill all the illegals. I've already said everybody knows this. You can't deport all the illegals in this country.
We could try.
We could try. But we could try.
Thank you.
But here's what I've said time and again is, if Trump gets in and starts building a wall, it's going to take a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
Then you start deportation process. You're going to start with the worst first, right? You're going to start with the hardened criminals, all that. Get them out first. Then you could go with just the undocumented, right, and start there. By the time you get probably about halfway through that, natural attrition is going to take care of the rest. But we don't have more flowing over like nobody's business. So, people have to be realistic with this stuff. And there is nothing wrong with the idea of protecting the sovereignty of our nation, especially with what we're seeing going on in Europe, especially with how we see other countries that fail to do so. It destroys your nation. We've talked about this time and again, and I hate sounding like a broken record, but does that mean every person coming over the border is this heinous murderer who wants... No! But we can't stop the heinous murderer unless we're stopping everybody, right? Because let's look at how this country deals with crime, right? As soon as you hear that maybe some police department's numbers were higher against one race in some area, you start all of a sudden saying, oh, it's racism, blah, 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 blah. So if you start targeting people you think are criminal coming over the border versus non-criminal, oh, that's racist on some level. It's a form of prejudice. But if you say nobody can come in illegal and we're going to make sure this can't happen, then it's equal.
It is. And look, I want to get to a couple things on the Trump thing here. First of all, there was Trump actually endorsed the Paul Ryan.
Yeah, he came through for Ayotte, Paul Ryan, and McCain.
Yep, and he endorsed McCain. So I was glad to see that. I thought he should have done it sooner. We talked about that last week.
Yeah,
BZ.
He threw Ryan's words back at him. Okay,
he did, but he shouldn't have done it. Right? He's above that at this point. But Trump kind of came out with his tax plan. He's getting more in line with Paul Ryan on the tax policy. Right? So he's gone from 33% tax credit or whatever to 25% or whatever it is. So he's aligning himself more with the traditional Republican Party and with Paul Ryan and stuff on that. His economic plan kind of came out. And he was talking about that.
Tax rate to 15% for business to keep it competitive with Europe.
Absolutely. Look, so he's coming out and he's done some good things this week, but of course the media is not gonna focus on that on the far left. But now what are we seeing? They're not talking about his economic policies. What are they talking about? They're talking about the defections from the party. Right, the GOP members that are saying, "Oh, I'm going to support the Libertarian candidate," or "I'm not going to support Trump." Because
and haven't we always had people who not supported the person in their party running that
not
have
like
elected
this.
off?
Not when you have.
Yeah, but you
not congressmen like you. Hear
sure, you have. It just hasn't.
I
don't
remember it. BZ, maybe you do. I don't remember.
It hasn't been publicized this widely.
Yeah, I mean Scott Rigel or Rigel or Vagina, whatever his name is, from Virginia, the Republican, said he's going to support Gary Johnson over Donald Trump. So you have people splitting from the party. Look,
Johnson's a loon.
This is what kind of makes me angry. The Republican Party, and look, I'm serious. I'm so close to just walking away from the party. I mean, I tend to have libertarian, a little L, tendencies to use your term. BG.
I'm a registered independent.
I have little, I swear I'm probably walking away from the Republican Party because they're making me sick. They're such little crybaby, petty, just ridiculous. You can't support the candidate. You have an election that's ripe for the picking. You have the stakes really can't be higher, in my opinion, with the Supreme Court up for grabs. And this is how the members of the party and the traditional establishment members are acting. Not the leadership in the party so much, but some of these other members. It's sickening to me, and even the way Trump acted up until his endorsements, this is.
I can never remember a time, and I've been around for a little bit. I can never remember a time when potentially over a majority of the Supreme Court was going to be up for grabs in a term or possibly 2 terms. I can never remember when potentially if whoever goes in there becomes a 2-termer, if Hillary goes in, my guess is she'll probably be a 2-termer. If that is true, we're done. We're toast.
Yeah.
She'll get up to potentially 5 jurists nominated. And if she's in there with a nomination, she'll probably get what she wants.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. She will.
No, she absolutely will.
I do want to discuss.
What if she picked Obama as a?
There's nothing to keep her from doing that.
Nope.
Nothing. And
I can't even take credit for that idea.
A Supreme Court.
I can't even take credit for that idea. I would love to take. I wish I thought about that, but that actually That actually was a discussion point I had with that ambulance chasing loon.
Well, yeah.
See if
he brought that up. He said, "Hey," he said, the Republicans need to be very careful about them not really even voting on Obama's nominee, who's actually pretty moderate, because he said, I wouldn't be surprised if Hillary Clinton gets in there, and now that Obama's been backing her and been campaigning for her, she gets in there, boom, that's her nominee for Supreme Court.
Oh, speaking of which, and I cannot remember the individual, I'll have to Google it. Today or yesterday, there was a particular Republican who was attempting to make a deal, and it was discovered that if he can bring the Republican Party together and let them have one pick for SCOTUS to replace Scalia, he said he'll attempt to get the Republican Party together completely and back Hillary if Hillary will agree to make one pick, allow the Republican Party to make
trust her for
one
anything.
Pick to replace Scalia.
You can't trust her for anything.
Can you imagine the naked betrayal on behalf of the Republican Party to try to make a deal with Mephisto like that, and that they're actually stupid enough to think that she would honor it? Number one, to give her everything she wants. That's the deal that they're making.
Yes.
In exchange for one replacement for Scalia.
Yeah.
And then she'll come back if she makes it, and she will, because if they pull out, that's it. She's in.
Yeah. Obama, here you go. Here's your replacement.
There's your next 4. Okay, you got one. Woo! Whoopee-doo. Then you got the next 4. What are you thinking? This is why everyone... I can't say everyone. This is why so many people are so incredibly upset with the Republican Party that you would even come up and think.
We need to hit a big
that.
political reset button. Like the states should come together and have a constitutional convention
and hit a big political reset.
And just say okay. So we have a constitutional convention. The as of right now, this moment, we're amending the Constitution to read that you're all douchebags. And next amendment, we're going to read.
I do want to. I want to bounce a couple things through here.
No, but let me say this. One constitutional amendment before I.
I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry. I've been drinking. But to say, you know what, political parties are like not organizations. Political parties are unconstitutional. You can't have party tickets. Mm-hmm. We vote for the president and vice president. Number one electoral vote getter is the president. Number 2 is the vice president.
Yep, have fun.
Boom. Have at it.
Have at it, boys and girls.
I would like to see it. Talk about a reset button.
Yeah. It would send some people into a tizzy, but it would also...
no more party conventions. No more, like, you can have party affiliations or whatever, but there's no big party money.
Right.
No, none of that.
And everyone has to own a gun.
Yeah. Yes.
Good idea,
and that label is.
Good idea.
And that label would be, hey, if you label yourself as a Republican or a Democrat or independent or libertarian, it's a description of ideology, not party backing.
I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. I really don't.
I think it's a freaking.
For ideas, I had a great one last night. I
What'd you
thought,
have?
you want to get money out of politics. Here's what you do: you make under the FCC anybody that's an FCC license holder, TV stations, radio stations. You demand that they give X number of hours during political times of free advertising to the people that are running.
I would run just for the free advertising.
Yeah, so would I. Vote for the Sackheads Radio Show.
Sackhead Clint for president,
Within
2018.
limitations, but the media wants its cake and eats it too.
Yeah.
And so they like to do that. Fine. You know what, media? You can take it up the arse.
Oh, yeah.
You can donate
and
the
they
time.
should.
We'll just make that a PSA, a public service announcement.
Yeah.
And you'll have nothing but hours and hours of public service announcements, interviewing all the candidates that you could possibly
See, but I would go a step further and just abolish the FCC.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Just abolish the FCC, and then everyone can do whatever they want. Versus this ridiculousness that we get now.
Or make all political contributions illegal.
Yeah.
You can support them. You can support them through speech. You can print signs to show your support, but you can't donate to the candidate.
Yeah.
No, I remember the fairness doctrine from the FCC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before there was talk radio, there was the so-called fairness doctrine that if on an FCC licensed station, TV or radio, that if you had one opinion, you had to have another opinion to balance it out.
Point counterpoint.
And anybody remember Air America?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, gone.
Yep.
Why don't leftists rule the media? Because no one wants to listen to them.
Well, it's amazing. If you had the fairness doctrine back, half these stations would be a mess. And you wouldn't have half these contributors be on the air anymore.
No.
It just wouldn't happen. I look at, it's funny, I always look at Sleaze MN, and it's amazing to me that in their entire lineup, the only person there that I have any respect for anymore is Jake Tapper. Because even Wolf Blitz has jumped the shock. I mean, he was pretty good up until about 5 years ago.
Now Wolf Blitz is gone.
Totally gone. I almost think like if Tapper was on another network, he would be much more in the middle. But I think he kind of gets the leftist push on him.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because when he gets mad and he pushes back, he has a much different opinion than the average leftist.
Yeah, and I want to touch on three things that we didn't have a chance to get a touch on real quick, and I understand we're kind of coming up against a break thing. But the first thing I want to talk about, did you guys see the father of the Orlando shooter was kind of front and center in the audience of Hillary Clinton during her big speech?
Yes.
And right as she's talking about terror and everything else,
Yeah.
and here's this freaking jihadist. Bad, right? Big Hillary sign.
Ran for president of Pakistan, believes in the Taliban, all these things.
And right there, that's how odd is that?
Yeah.
Right behind her, and of course the Hillary came. We had no idea who he is. The second thing I wanted to bring up is, did you see that the parents of two of the guys killed in Benghazi are suing Hillary?
Yes.
Clinton?
Yeah. Sean Smith and Ty Woods, I believe.
Ty Woods, yeah, parents.
Great. Absolutely great.
I
they
think
should.
Absolutely. What do they have that the public hasn't seen? That's
Frankly,
what I'm wondering.
I think we're going to find out in
Right?
October. I really
Because-
think we're going to find out.
Because they have, if they're suing Hillary Clinton, and she was acting in an official capacity, and there are protections in place,
You have to really have something.
I wonder what
You
the
can't
hell
just
they
go into
have.
that pissed off.
No, you go into that pissed off and half cocked. A judge is going to look at that and be like, "Yeah, no, sorry." Right?
But it wasn't.
Capacity. Right.
It wasn't thrown out right away.
So what do they have?
Well, and that's going to be the interesting conversation. And did Assange give them something already?
That's kind of where I'm leaning with that. I don't know.
Rooster's question, can you sue the government? You can. You can sue government entities.
But they're suing Hillary Clinton.
Right, and you can sue her as the individual if you believe that there was a wrongful death or some sort of situation created by that person intentionally.
And that's what they're saying. They're saying that her reckless handling of classified information contributed to their deaths. And they're alleging that because of that, her server was hacked by these other foreign governments. So they have to, I would think they have to show that the information that was hacked was germane to Benghazi. And we haven't seen that yet, I don't think. In the documents that have been released.
We've seen some documents. We've seen some documents when they were in the war room that they weren't really talking about Benghazi, but how to cover it.
Right.
We've seen some things come out, but I think there's more there. I think there's a slam dunk there, waiting to come out, and I think we're going to get it. You know, it's still 4 years, and we still haven't heard from the other people that were on the ground in Benghazi. Whenever we talk about Benghazi, I bring that up now. The goddamn Germans have nothing to do with this. Rooster just said Germans in the chat room. Yeah, I said Jermaine, and I couldn't help myself.
Smokey and the Bandit. The goddamn
Germans have nothing to do with this. Daddy, I shut your mouth.
The fact that your sheriff has not germane to this conversation. The goddamn Germans got nothing to do with this. Get me a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper and make it fast. I'm in a goddamn hurry.
The great Jackie Gleason. With that, we will go to break.
Oh, yeah, I had one other thing.
Go ahead.
All right. I'll get back to it after the break.
No, go.
Okay. So the last thing I had, this will be real quick, is Clinton didn't go after the police endorsement.
Not at all.
First time in 40 years.
Something like that.
Yeah. That
didn't even seek it.
No, through the Fraternal Order of Police. Didn't return the questionnaire that was sent out. Just shows how anti-police not only the party but Hillary Clinton is right now, and I kind of wanted to touch on those three things.
And not so, even if she's not fully anti-police, I mean, she is. But,
she is, yeah.
But it's not necessarily the anti-police segment she wants, or to separate herself. She's going after the anti-police voters.
Yes.
That's who she's targeting. So she's not stepping away from cops per se. I mean, she is, but I don't even think she looks at it that way. She looks at it that she'll gain more voters by being with the anti-police crowd than she will if she gets a pro-law enforcement endorsement, which she would never get anyhow. So, yeah, it's very scary stuff that shows you who the Democrats really are. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. Now we're up against a break.
Sorry for running late.
When we come
I'm usually the one yelling at you about that.
When we come back, China's still building up, and we have other things going here on the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Comic Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Hello, I'm Matt, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is Hillsdale President Larry Arnn on the continuing relevance of the Constitution.
Many argue today that the Constitution is outdated because it addresses problems peculiar to the 18th century. Some parts of the Constitution do read rather quaintly. Consider the injunction against titles of nobility in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. But is that so outdated? The purpose of the injunction is to prevent the government granting special privileges to some for partisan reasons. This strikes at the heart of the rule of law. The crony capitalism so common today is a place where the government bestows favors and tax dollars on some businesses to give them a leg up over others. This is exactly the kind of thing the Constitution was meant to prohibit. The Constitution is not so outdated after all.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To join the national conversation on the Constitution, go to constitutionminute.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the Unpleasant Blind Guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians. A team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sonic as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Rebirth Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sackheads Radio Show live on the SHR Media Network. The volume on the break's a little low. I will fix that next time. Dan, thank you, sir. The amazing Dan Butcher in the chat room. High Plains Pundit. Pulling some great numbers, as always. High Plains Pundit Radio as well. Mamba, thank you so much for joining us during the break. It's a pleasure, sir. Everyone else in the chat room, as always. We appreciate your time for being with us. And
that's nice of HPD to
yes.
drop in,
yes.
so to speak.
It's always nice.
Because, let's see, he's where? Is he in Texas?
He is in Texas.
And so, let's see, if it's 9:35,
it's 11:35.
It's 11:35 right there.
Yeah, but Dan doesn't sleep. He's like a vampire. He just never sleeps.
He's like a lidless snake. He has no eyelids. He can never sleep. He's like a horse snake. He stands up. He never sleeps, and his eyes are always open because he has no eyelids.
Or Hillary. One of the interesting reports that's been thrown out this week, we've all been talking about politics in the Olympics, is the fact that China is continuing their military buildup on that disputed island that they're building in the China Sea, South China Sea. They've found out that they're starting to create hardened aircraft bunkers on that island, which the only reason military creates hardened bunkers on a base would be to protect attack planes, which is usually the first thing under attack when you go to some sort of conflict.
Well, you build them to protect the planes themselves, yes, right. But mostly you build them to protect the armament.
Right.
Which means that we're talking about missiles, and if we're talking about missiles, we're probably talking about sooner or later something that's going to be nuclear tipped.
Yes.
What are we talking about?
Yes.
Oh.
South China's. Just go back to playing with this.
Got it.
So, for China, who's claiming that that's their island, and they've grown the island,
and the world has said no.
Everybody said no. I mean, it's almost like Hillary saying she's innocent.
Even Russia is like,
Maybe Russia's
wrong on that one.
Guys, please, man. I mean, this is...
it's a good island.
It's nice. It's nice.
It's very nice. It's a good island.
But no put the boom boom, please. It's pretty bad when the Russians are like, cut the shit. We stole Crimea, and we're telling you to cut the shit. A little bit of Georgia, cut
Even
the
North
shit.
Korea's like,
Guys. Hello. Please stop building Ireland. And that's the other story that's gone under the radar, too, is Iran just keeps making these insane statements the last couple weeks, and nobody's even reporting it. No. It's like an afterthought on every news outlet. And they're like, oh, the Olympics, bombing in Baghdad, this happened, that happened, North Korea said something batshit crazy again. So anyhow, in other news, wait, you want to back that up? Something about nuclear war, death to America. Same thing Iran was saying about Israel last week, and nobody thought twice about. Did you see that story? The Supreme Double Commandant of the Iranian Super Defense Force fast boat guy was talking about how Hezbollah has all these missiles from Iran, and essentially if Israel goes too far, they can destroy them in 7 minutes.
Like goes too far where? Like literally or figuratively?
Well, they're expecting a big buildup with Hezbollah, and we've been worried about Palestine this whole time. Hezbollah's up in the north in Lebanon. Mm-hmm. They've been quiet for a few years because the last time they acted up, the Israeli kicked their ass. And then I don't, Rooster, that's a good question. I don't know if they call him a fatwa in the military. I thought he was just like a rear admiral or something. So he essentially said, hey, Hezbollah has all these missiles and rockets that we've given them, and if they attack you and you respond too swiftly, then we're going to step in, and we can crush you.
If they attack you and you fight back,
yeah, essentially,
we're going to crush you.
Yeah. So that was just on the heels of us paying off the ransom of what, $400 billion or whatever it was to the Iranians to get the two.
No, that was a payment.
Oh,
that was one payment on $1.7 trillion.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. That's just the first pallet.
Right.
Many to come.
And it wasn't an exchange because we don't do that.
Right.
It wasn't an exchange for anybody. We don't do that.
Which is weird because there's some video that surfaced.
Well,
the planes may look similar. Look, this is a good plane. We take a pallet from this plane here, looks similar to the pallet on this plane here, but who knows where it really comes from. We switch some numbers around, it's good.
Everything's fine.
It's good, I fixed that.
It's all ball bearings nowadays, guys. Come on.
And hostages said, hey, we were told by the Iranians, unless that plane comes in,
you're not going anywhere. Yeah, it's weird how that happens.
You know what? It's coincidence.
It is coincidence.
It's coincidence.
It's coinkydink.
Victor Maitland runs that.
This is absolutely insane. We went from we don't negotiate with terrorists to all right, we'll give nuclear weapons to terrorists to all right, we'll kind of negotiate.
We're not going to negotiate. We're just going to pay you.
Right. All right, and that wasn't even a negotiation at that point.
Right.
That was literally paying hush money.
So technically, they don't negotiate with terrorists.
It was literally like the Iranian mob walked into the White House and they were like, "Hey,
hang on,
that's a really nice fucking window outside. Be a shame if something were to happen to it. Say, for $100, my friends and I will watch it every single week."
So you just started off with a great joke, right? So Iranian mobs walks into the White House.
and the ending can be anything you want it to be now at this point. But it's sad to me to think that this is where this feckless, horrible foreign policy and this jackass that we have in the White House has brought us. We're paying
Biden.
No, he hasn't really hurt anybody.
He doesn't.
He's just creeped a bunch of people out, but he hasn't hurt anybody.
He hasn't said anything in a while.
Dude,
he's way overdue.
He is so overdue.
So it's got to be good. I'm just crossing my fingers, hoping it's going to be really worth it.
It's got to be freaking amazing, right? Like he's going to say something good. Like he's going to throw out like what's the worst possible word that a white guy could throw out? Like he's going to throw something like that out.
Well, I mean, listen, he's already gone down the racially insensitive road. Remember when he was talking about Dunkin' Donuts and Arabs?
Yeah.
Or Indians? You can't go to a Dunkin' Donuts without one of those people being in there. It's the Vice President of the United States.
I know.
And we're worried about Trump? This guy's a heartbeat away. At least with Trump, you know where he is. Right. You don't know what's coming out of Joe's mouth.
Yeah.
Right.
Joe Biden said, hey, one of my best friends is a huggy head. How about you?
Yeah.
I have friends everywhere.
I mean, I can just picture if he was allowed to go on. I mean, it's really good because when you get the greasy stuff from the sausage all over your hands, you just have their towels right there on the head to wipe it with. I could see him saying that, and nobody being shocked.
No, they'd be like,
it's just Joe.
Right.
Joe.
That's the problem, though. When it comes to Trump, the world goes crazy when he says certain things.
Yes.
When it comes to Biden, everybody laughs with him.
Yes.
Oh, like you said,
It's crazy,
just
Joe.
It's Joe.
It's crazy,
Come
Joe.
on.
Hey, no, somebody shows up to your house, you just put 2 through the door. Oh, so he's advocating killing people.
That's Joe. It's Joe. Move
The
on.
Second Amendment people will take care of Hillary. Oh! Did you hear that? He called for her to die. No, wait, what? I mean, it's no different. But it shows you
because the vice president actually said, put 2 through the door. That's the friggin' difference.
And I know he said that for a fact because we titled the show 2 through the door.
Yes, we did.
What is the deal with vice presidents and guns anyway?
I don't know. It never works out. There's always... I mean, if it's not guns, it's potatoes. I don't know.
Dick Cheney has one less good friend now anyway.
Well, he lived.
Oh, he did live, but he's not his friend anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a theory with that. Maybe it was a duel.
I think it was more like, watch this. I'll teach him not to pay for lunch.
Hold my beer. Watch this.
And he shot a lawyer. Who cares?
Yeah. It's all because his friend had alligator hands. Alligator arms. I'm sorry, alligator arms.
Still one of my favorite parts when that all came out is my brother-in-law was like, oh my God, it's like an old cartoon. Hey, Bill, did you see the deer? Yeah, he had antlers like this. Boom! Oh, best line of the night from the chat room might be right here. 2 through the door. This is from Agador. 2 through the door sounds like a sitcom. To which Rooster replied, or a porno.
Wouldn't that be 2 through the back door?
Oh, now I'm going to segue into this.
Rooster, you couldn't have called in for that one?
Oh, man. Oh, crikey. So, first of all, I want to give my spiel on the Olympics in general, and I don't know how you all feel about it.
Green pools.
I applaud the athletes. I don't care where they're from, because to get to that level, it takes a commitment. You really have to bust your ass.
Yeah, or dope.
Or dope if you're a Russian.
Right.
But other than that. So I do want to talk about what a freaking disaster Rio has been and the fact that it never should have happened to Rio to begin with. However, the IOC, once again, is this whole leftist-loving, we have to give everyone a chance.
Yep, certainly.
Rio, everybody said, would never be ready. You had a reporter bus attack last night, potentially with gunshots. Some people said it might be a rock. You've had the judo medalist get robbed. You've had... not that this is the Olympics' fault per se, but 2 Olympic boxers get arrested for rape. You have a green pool and another one that's starting to turn green because they didn't have the amount of equipment. This doesn't even begin to discuss the Olympic conditions, the conditions at the Olympic Village, where the Jamaican team posted a video online of their room. They were one of the track and field.
I missed that one. I think I'd love to see that.
Oh, it looked like a bomb went off in there. They have sinks and stuff just falling all over the place. It's a mess. It's to the point that the USA basketball team's living on a cruise ship in the port because it's better than the Olympic Village. Yeah, it's really, really bad. But I enjoy watching the Olympics. I hate that it's on NBC because I hate NBC. But I enjoy watching the competition. And I'll get to the announcers in a second.
Thank you.
Well, the poor bastards that spent their life to try to get there, the athletes, they have nothing to do with that. And they're the people that I feel the worst for.
Yeah.
Getting pushed into conditions like that. And if you watch the Olympics, as a matter of fact, and you look behind the athletes, there's hardly anybody in the stands.
No.
Yep.
No,
Would you go?
A lot of people were afraid to
no.
go.
Absolutely not.
A lot of people were afraid to go. And there was another athlete who was out celebrating one of his wins on the Coco Cabana Beach, where everything got robbed the other night at gunpoint. They had a fire alarm the first week they were there get pulled, and while they were outside waiting for the building to get cleared,
Oh, God.
when they went back in, all their stuff was stolen. Like the whole building, like every room was ransacked and things were taken. It's absolutely crazy to me. But for me, the Olympics went from bad for worse with an NBC gymnastics announcer. Al Troutwig. Have you heard this story yet?
No, I have not.
There's a young woman on the now gold medal winning USA gymnastics team. Her name is Simone Biles. Simone and her sister, Adria, were adopted back in 2001 by her grandparents from her parents, or from her mother specifically, who had problems with alcohol and drugs. Since then, Simone and her sister have always called her grandparents mom and dad. They have raised her. They're their primary caregiver. They are the parents at this point. Al Troutwig, in all of his insanity, stated on the air and then followed up in Twitter, they are not her parents. She may call them mom and dad, but they are not her parents. And then he doubled down by tweeting that. Now, you know...
Why would you even feel the need to do that?
Why?
Why? What's the motive for doing that?
Right. Now, and here's a girl who went through all of this in her life. Her biological mother apparently had these issues.
Well, God bless her grandparents for stepping up like that.
Yeah, and then she makes the Olympics.
Yeah.
On top of it all.
How
she is an
proud
absolute
they must
success story.
Feel to have somebody like that in the Olympics. That's astounding.
And it just blew me away that, A, some idiot could actually say that out loud, never mind on the news or on the television, during one of the biggest watched events in the world. B, tweet it, and then try to walk it back saying he was misunderstood. But for a lot of people who are in my situation, I'm an adopted parent. My child is adopted. My mother was adopted. I take that extremely personally, because that's like saying that my grandparents weren't my grandparents via my mom, and that my son is not my son. It's insulting.
In many cases, all they were sperm donors.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And temporary ovens.
And I don't care what your view on CPS is, whatever. Adopted parents have this amazing tendency to take children who are not theirs and make them theirs. And not in a bad way, but through parenting. That's what it comes down to.
And the thing that's astounding is adopted kids were wanted.
Yes.
Sought after.
Yes. As is my son.
That was more purposeful doing that than simply by dint of birth. You wanted that child.
And the amount of anguish and fighting that adopted parents go through to get to that point. Anyone who knows the story of my son knows it was a long road before we got to that. And the same thing with Simone and her sister. She was in a really bad place. Her mom had a drug and alcohol addiction. Here's this young woman who's full of all of this talent. Who knows where she would have been if it wasn't for her grandparents who stepped in and decided to raise her and her daughter. And she eventually made it to the Olympics and won a gold medal on the gymnastics team. And this asshole, for whatever reason, feels the need, even if he was trying to clarify, even if it was just a whole, like, hey, I was trying to clarify the story, the way you said it and then doubled down on Twitter, you're an asshole.
Absolutely.
There's no excuse for this.
That has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
Really.
And so would his opinion be, if you had a same-sex marriage couple,
that child isn't
that
theirs?
Child's not theirs?
Yeah.
That's the parents?
Be very curious to think so.
That's the natural conclusion that you could draw, right?
The parents are the people that do the work.
Right.
Yeah. And it's amazing to me that in this day and age...
And where's the outrage from that community?
Oh, where's the outrage from any of the communities? right? Where's the outrage from adopted parents? I know a lot of us are angry, but why does he still have a job?
Right.
Can you imagine if I don't care if it was a baseball and look at what got Kirk Schilling fired on a political statement, on his political belief. He didn't even say he didn't even try to tear down anybody's home or fabric.
Nope.
He was speaking politically, lost his job.
Yep.
And this a-hole maintains it.
Yep.
But for the uninitiated, I have to say I know who Kurt Schilling is. Who the hell is Al Troutwig?
Exactly.
Literally.
He's a gymnastics announcer.
I've never heard of him.
He's a gymnastics announcer.
He's a douchebag.
And maybe because they only have one, and they couldn't fire him because they couldn't get anyone else to fill in. But I don't know what the issue is. But the fact, it shows you NBC's true colors, right? Because I think most other networks would have bounced him right away. Or at least suspended him for the rest of the Olympics.
If he had right-leaning views, yeah.
Exactly.
What's the point of trying to denigrate a success story?
I don't.
That's a success
I've never understood
story.
that.
That's not a regular success story. That's an astounding success story.
Yes.
Despite all those odds.
This girl is, in my opinion, everything that's right in this country.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
That's success.
She beat the odds.
Yeah.
She made it. She did the work.
Which is what
right?
this country was all about.
Yeah.
Is beating the odds and being able to rise above and be a success on your own, and have your family be a success on your own, and to have this a-hole destroy that on a national, on a world level, not international.
I hope he gets fired.
I hope he does too.
I really do.
I really do. I hope everywhere he goes that some adopted child or adopted parent confronts him on it for the rest of his life. Not hurts him. I don't want anything bad to happen to him because I'm not an asshole like him. Well, I'm an asshole, but not like him. I just hope he gets confronted with this for the rest of his days. I really do. Like, hey, Al.
He won't.
I know. Because people will forget and back down.
Like, he can't be happy at someone's amazing abilities against all the trials and tribulations and the obstacles that was thrown in front of them.
Yeah.
You can't be happy about the good times and the way that they're performing against all obstacles.
And all of them are. The Americans are having a great turnout this year, and not just the gymnastics. But it's crazy to me to think that would even be allowed by NBC. I do want to congratulate the USA swimmers. Michael Phelps is up to 21 now. Like him or hate him or whatever you feel, that's just ridiculously impressive. The most decorated Olympian of all time.
Well, this is what, his fourth? Fifth?
Yeah, fifth and probably his final.
Olympics?
Though swimmers have a tendency to be able to go later in life than a lot of other...
and he's 30?
31. 31.
That really is another amazing thing.
As I said, the USA Gymnastic women's team getting the gold medal, that was just awesome to see. And I'm not even a gymnastics person. I definitely will be the first one to admit that I am fair weather when it comes to some events. I've always enjoyed like the judo. I've always enjoyed the shooting. A lot of those events. Actually, rowing. I enjoy watching rowing for some. I don't know why. I just do. There's a lot of great events. We haven't even gotten to the track and field, which is usually what everyone thinks of when they think of Summer Olympics. But yeah, Americans are going strong this year, and there's some really standout people. I watched fencing today when I had a chance at work.
I like the underwater basket weaving myself.
Water polo is another cool sport to watch. It's,
it actually
soccer
is.
I hate, but water polo is an awesome sport. But I was watching fencing today, which I've always thought fencing was just cool. It's so old school, and it takes a lot of skill to be able to actually be an effective fencer.
Is that one where they say ole?
Yes, exactly.
Ole.
And the bull runs after
Right,
him. Fencing.
exactly.
Fencing.
And there's this kid from this American kid who the Americans historically do not do well in fencing, and I can't remember his last name. It was like Bomber or Boomer. I don't know why, but he went further last Olympics than anyone had in like 20 years for the Americans in fencing, and then this time He beat the German to qualify for the quarterfinals, which is just amazing for the Americans. But watching fencing was awesome. I don't know why I haven't spent more time doing it.
It shouldn't surprise anybody that we beat the Germans because we've done it before.
The guys that won, I think his name was Brad. Wasn't his name Brad? They called him Brad the Impaler.
Yeah. I don't remember that. But it was just really cool. You could see this kid, another success story. He was born in one of the U.S. territories when he was like 3, and then came to the Bronx and grew up in the Bronx. And but just to see him go further, and you could see like it's his own personal success on the national level was pretty cool.
Hey, I have a question for you, Sean. Where is Farmington State University?
Farmington State University, I think, is out by Springfield.
Okay.
Way out west.
Okay,
Illinois, I believe.
So there was did you see the story? There was a bias incident response team report. That school has a bias incident response team, just so you know.
BERT.
Biohazard.
No.
The BERT.
A bias incident. So, like, they hate our show, I think. So listen, there was one student complained about Cinco de Mayo, so they canceled the whole thing.
A bias incident response.
They respond with good thoughts and pillows.
You can't make this shit up.
Hang on, no, you can't make this shit up. Listen to this. So here's what was so offensive about Cinco de Mayo, that the school scrapped the whole celebration. First of all, good. Why the f*** are we celebrating that anyway?
Yes.
Second of all, the cafeteria celebrated Cinco de Mayo and put up decorations. So here's a quote from the story. Here's what this individual said who had this complaint. Quote, the massive flyer had Sam the Bull, because they threw a Cinco de Mayo party for their school mascot, in a sombrero with Feliz Cumpleaños on it. The event advertised a burrito bar and salsa lessons for some reason, and if this were an isolated event, I wouldn't think twice about it. I feel as though whenever an event like this is taking place, we go straight to stereotypes. It is extremely offensive. If that were not enough on Cinco de Mayo, the dining services team decides that in honor of a glorious victory against French colonizers in Mexico, we should decorate the dining commons. The decorations included blow-up chili peppers, poncho decorations, donkey piñatas, and other overtly racist and clearly ignorant decorations.
I want to go to that. That sounds like an amazing time,
fun, right?
Yes.
First of all, you freaking eat burritos.
Yeah.
Second of all, they wear sombreros.
Who cares?
And they hit piñatas. And you know why this is racist? Because we don't give a shit if you beat the French. That's not an accomplishment.
Right. Everyone's done it.
Everyone beats the French.
Ever since the Revolutionary War,
right.
They haven't really done much.
They haven't done much.
By themselves.
So, come on.
The BERT team. Oh, man, we're here from the BERT team. Get the fuck out of here, really? Oh, no. Oh, you guys are dead serious. I thought it was like the zombie apprehension team you see on some people's cars.
Right.
You guys exist. That's freaking adorable.
That's cute.
Now get out of here. Yeah.
Burrito bar's over there.
That sounded like an amazing event. I wish it was never canceled.
You know, the sad thing is, I just Googled it, Bias Incident Response Team, and here's what I get in the pages. BERT for St. Mary's College, Loyola Marymount College, ACPA, Standards and Practices, Carleton College, Napa Valley College, New Republic College, etc., etc., etc. All these colleges have a BERT.
A BERT.
Pussification of America. Hey, one last quick suggestion from the chat room, and I agree with them. White Mamba says, since there's a team refugee competing in the Olympics this year, can we have a team Sackheads next year for the next Olympics and do bourbon drinking contests?
I like it.
I love it.
I love it. If that's an event, we're in.
We're in. Folks, this has been the Sackheads Radio Show for August 10th, 2016.
In the can.
Thank you for the Blovian Zeppelin for hanging out with us this evening.
And
Thank
for
you
hanging up an awesome sign.
And for hanging out the On the Air sign. We absolutely love it. It was a gift from him to us. It's up on the wall. We totally love it. There's going to be an article posted on SHR Media from Big Mouth Patriot. Should be going up in the next couple of days. Going to try to get a big guest on the phone for next week. So we're
literally or like figuratively?
Figuratively.
Okay.
I don't even know why I even talked to you about this stuff.
You don't, so I have to ask you on air.
Make sure you wake up tomorrow and check out the Reverb Common Sense. Jersey Joe, bringing it as he always does. Has some great shows. And check out all the great shows on the SHR Media Network. We will see you next Wednesday evening right here on the SHR Media Network.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America, Backheads Radio. And listen, there are no people better on the air to give you the best in conservative talk. Sackhead Sean and Sackhead Clint. And we're working on immigration papers for a certain other guy who happens to work here too. For those who are tuning in around the world to the best late-night conservative talk, Sackheads Radio.
Radio.
The best late-night conservative talk show in America. In America.
And in this web was a large, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest spider I've ever seen.